Hi, and thank you very much for you are here with me to continue our Lent reflection. With the previous step 7, we talked about Palm Sunday. Now we are in Holy Week. Then with step 8, we will speak about the first very important day of the Holy Week, Thursday. This day has several names in Christian traditions. We will start with the name given to this day by the Anglican Church, the English speaker churches, and other churches in relation with this day. Even the Lutheran classic churches, Calvinist churches, and so on. The name Maundy Thursday came from the Latin mandatum, in Old French mandate, and in Old English mandate. Mandatum means a mission, something given to be done, to be executed, in order to keep alive that reality, that tradition, in order to be able to give it away inheritance for the next generation. And Jesus gave this mandatum, this mandate, to his disciples. Other name given to this day of the Holy Week is Holy Thursday. This name is part of the Latin tradition. The Roman Catholic Church and other churches in relation with the Latin tradition keep this name for this day. In Middle East, a few congregations gave to this day the name Covenant Thursday. Again, the basis of the name came from the scripture. Jesus, when shared the cup of wine with his disciples, told them that the cup, the blood from the cup, the wine from the cup is the blood of the new covenant. In that very moment, Jesus declared that the Old Testament, which we sometimes name it the Old Covenant, made with Moses, through Moses, with the Israelites nation, came to the end in that very moment. And with Jesus, with that Last Supper, started a new covenant through his blood, through his sacrifice, which will happen on the cross. As well, in the Middle East Christianity, we could find the name Thursday of Mystery. I like this name because it is speaking about the reality of the Last Supper and about what Jesus instituted in that very moment. Christians say that Jesus instituted the Holy Eucharist, Holy Communion. Others say just simple a memorial or just a supper which we have to perpetuate in order to keep his memory. It doesn't matter what we say, but the reality is we never will understand properly what Jesus wanted. It is sure that he wanted that his disciples to continue this supper, to gather together. He wanted that the bread and the wine to be symbol, sign of his body, his flesh, and his blood, and to be symbols around which we have to gather when we celebrate. Other name is Great and Holy Thursday. It is a name which we can meet in the Greek Orthodox Church, that means in the eastern part of Europe. The week between Palm Sunday and Easter Day, it is named in the Greek Orthodox Church tradition Great and Holy. Then the days of this week are great and holy, especially Thursday, Friday and Saturday. In the right side of the screen you can see the Gospels and the fragments where we can find the history, the story of the Last Supper. With one exception, the last quotation is taken from 1 Corinthians chapter 11, when Paul speaks about the Holy Supper to the community of the Corinthians. Beyond all names we can find given to this Thursday, it is important for us to understand that the Last Supper has 4 main elements. The first element is the gathering. Jesus gathered around the table with his disciples to share the supper. The second is Jesus is the head of the gathering, but in the same time he gives example that the head has to be the servant as well. The third element is the mandatum, the commandment. Do this in remembrance of me. It is a mandate given to the disciple and for us as well to continue, to perpetuate in our celebration, in our congregation, as the early Christian communities did. And the fourth element is quite a dark one. It is about Judas' betrayal. It is hard to think about the Last Supper in all theological way, but I invite you to understand the Last Supper and the place of the supper in our life, thinking about the reason which we gather for around the table. We gather for celebrate a friendship, a recognition, to celebrate our communion, a farewell, to celebrate our relation as family, to remember somebody who is no longer with us. And as we know by our experience, around the table we meet not just simple good things. We have not only good experiences, but even the worst experiences we had around the table, especially when we speak about betrayal. Because usually around the table, the people when gathered, they consider each other that have something to share. When somebody from those who are gathered around the table betray, the betrayal is felt very, very deeply in pain. As happened to Jesus when Judas betrayed him, happened to everyone who is betrayed. After Judas' betrayal, Jesus started to climb the way of the cross. It was a painful way. After somebody is betrayed, that person starts to climb the cross of the painful experience. Then I invite you to think about that in this Thursday, in this Maundy Thursday. In the Gospel according to John, we can read at chapter 13, verse 30. As soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out, and it was night. It is night in his soul. But in the same time, that night seemed to come out and to throw shadows over other souls. Those shadows is the pain somebody can feel when it is betrayed. Let's think about the invitation of Jesus to gather, to share, and to celebrate, and to meditate about betrayal in order to avoid to do it. Thank you very much, and see you again for Good Friday.